Hi, welcome to Learn English with Dr. Bruce. And I'm Dr. Bruce. And today we're going to talk about homographs. Yes, I love homographs, and they can be tricky for people who are learning English as a second or third or fourth or fifth language. We're going to learn 30 common homographs today, and they'll be done in my American accent. British, Australian, Canadian, South Americans may pronounce some of these words differently, but these are the words the way they're commonly pronounced by a native speaker from the U.S. Well, from the U.S. Midwest. If I was from the South, that would be different. And we're going to talk about that in a different video about accents and pronunciation. But today, homographs. A homograph is a word that is spelled the same as another word, but has a different meaning and is sometimes pronounced differently. Not always, sometimes it's pronounced the same. We're going to look at homographs that are pronounced the same and some homographs that are pronounced differently, just so that you get the good idea. Homographs can be tricky when you're learning some new vocabulary. Let's just get started. Okay, let's hit it. First word, bass and bass. Bass and bass. Bass is a type of fish. And a bass is a special type of guitar. Yesterday, I caught a huge bass. I want to be the bass player in the band. Bass and bass. Word number 2, bow. A bow can be a kind of a tied ribbon, or it can be a weapon for shooting an arrow with. My granddaughter likes to tie her hair in a bow. My son has a bow and arrow that he uses for target practice, and I used to have one. In fact, I still have some around the house here, some from tribes in Papua New Guinea when I was working and living over there. Word number 3, close and close. Close means to shut. Please close the door after you enter the room. Close means to be near in time or space. The ladybugs were close to each other on the leaf. Close and close. And so you see, so far, I've done some words that are pronounced differently and pronounced the same. But the important thing is that they are spelled the same and they have different meanings. Number 4, desert. A desert is a dry, arid region. We are going to take a trip to the desert to look for snakes. And dessert, not the dessert that you eat. Dessert, to abandon or leave behind. I pleaded with my older brother not to desert me on our hike. Please don't desert me. Number 5, invalid, invalid. Invalid, not valid, not legally binding. Invalid, a person made weak or disabled by illness or injury. The lawyer said my marriage contract was now invalid. And invalid, I'm afraid that when I get older, I will become an invalid. Number 6, ruler and ruler. First one, a ruler can be defined as a tool or device used to measure length and draw straight lines. And the second definition, an individual leader in charge of a country or group who rules, commands, or governs. I have a 12-inch ruler. And the second definition, Queen Elizabeth was a popular and respected ruler. Number 7, pronounced differently, minute and minute. Minute is a unit of time, 60 seconds. Minute is something very small or very precise. A minute can last forever. Minute. The men in this photo are very minute and very cute. Number 8, object and object. An object is a thing. This is an object. It's for mosquito spray. And object is to express opposition or disapproval. What is that object in the sky? I don't know. And object. He objected to my proposal. He wasn't interested in it at all. Number 9, present. Present can be a gift or it can be the current time. So there are a lot of presents under the tree, and the present time is 10:10. Number 10, read and read. Read, to look at and understand written words. Read, To say aloud what is written. I love to read books. The mother read a book to her child. Number 11, refuse and refuse. Refuse means to decline or reject something. He refused my invitation to go for a walk. Refuse is trash or garbage. There was a lot of refuse in the park. And number 12, cool and cool. I like this one. First, cool, of or at a fairly low temperature. That's a weather word. And the slang definition, cool. Oxford Dictionary defines it as fashionably attractive or impressive. Okay, that's one slang definition of cool. And what about a sentence for the first definition? The weather today is very cool, so I will put on a sweater. And the second definition, I think that Marvel movies are very cool. Number 13, tear and tear. Tear, to rip or pull apart. Tear, a drop of clear liquid coming from the eye. The cat was tearing down the house. And tear, a tear rolled down his cheek. Number 14, wind and wind. Wind, a natural movement of the air. Wind, to turn or twist something. Wind, a strong wind was blowing. Wind, you need to wind up old watches. Number 15, and we're halfway through. Address and address. Listen again. Address and address. Address, the location of a person, place, or thing. Address, to speak or to write to a person or a group. My address is 350 22nd Street. Address, I addressed the city council about the traffic problems in the city. Address, address. Number 16, content and content. Content, material contained in something. The contents of this bottle are pills. And content is to be happy or satisfied. The contents of my bag included a wallet, a pen, and sunglasses. The baby's smile showed that he was very content. Number 17, contract and contract. Contract and contract. A contract is a legal agreement. Contract is to make something smaller or shrink. I signed the contract with my new manager. Contract. Tomatoes contract when they die. They shrivel up, they contract, they get smaller. Number 18, entrance and entrance. Entrance is a place of entering, a door, for example. And entrance is to fill with delight and wonder. Which door is the entrance to my office? I was entranced by the beauty of the old city. Wow, it's lovely. Number 19, permit. Permit to allow or authorize, and a permit, a document allowing a person to do something. Parking is not permitted here, and the visa in my passport is my permit to enter the country. Number 20, produce and produce. Very similar, very similar. You have to listen very carefully. Produce and produce. Produce is to create or bring forth something, and produce, fruits and vegetables. These are the tools that I use to produce YouTube videos. And produce, I told my daughter to go shopping for some produce. 21, record and record. This one is a tough one, confuses a lot of people. A record is a thin plastic or vinyl dish carrying recorded sound, especially music, in grooves on the surface. And record is to make a permanent or official copy of something. I used to have a lot of records that I like to listen to. Record and record. We are going to record music in the studio. Number 22, resume or resume. Resume is to carry on after an introduction, And resume is that document that you use when you're looking for a job. We will resume work after a break. Resume. I have my resume prepared for my job interview later today. 23. Row. Pronounced the same. A line or series of things. That's one type of row. And row, to propel a boat with oars. Row. You will see a row of seats like this in a stadium. And I like to row my boat. Row, row, row your boat. Do you know that song? Number 24, band. Both pronounced the same way. A flat, thin strip or a loop of material put around something, typically to hold something together, like your hair, for example. And a small group of musicians and vocalists who play different types of music. Teachers usually have many rubber bands in their desk. I do. I've got lots here. And parades usually have a marching band or two in them. 25, bat. Bat is an implement with a handle and a solid surface, usually made of wood and often for hitting a ball in games like baseball or cricket. And bat is a mainly nocturnal mammal capable of sustained flight. And, well, Dracula turns into a bat. And of course, there's Batman. Bat. The hitter has a bat in his hands. And flying bat. I am afraid of bats. I'm not actually. We have bats here in our house quite often. Not unusual here in Bali. Number 26, rock. Okay, rock, a natural substance composed of solid crystals of different minerals that have been fused together into a solid lump. How do you like that definition? And rock, a form of popular music that emerged in the 1950s. I love beautiful colored rocks, and they played in a rock band. Number 27, drop. Drop, a small round or pear-shaped portion of liquid that hangs or falls or adheres to a surface. And to fall vertically. I dropped the Q-tip. A drop of water was on the leaf, and I dropped the pen on the desk. Oops. Okay. Getting close to finishing. Number 28, fly. To move or be hurled quickly through the air. Flying insect of a large order characterized by a single pair of translucent wings and sucking mouth parts. I love watching birds fly at sunset. A fly can spread disease and is usually disliked by humans. Get lost, fly. Number 29, trip. To catch one's foot on something or stumble or fall. And a journey or excursion, especially for pleasure. If you step on that banana peel, you may trip. There are so many places I would like to take a trip to. Number 30, does and does. Does, female deer. Does, the third person singular form of the verb do. Does are beautiful animals. I love does. Does he look like a gangster because he's wearing a hat? Don't know. And that is it for Homographs today. I hope that you learned something. You've got 30 that you might not know. If you do know them, always good to review. And the next video, we're going to be talking about homophones. Homophones. Words that are spelled different but sound the same and have different meanings. What's an example? Meet and meet. Meet, M-E-E-T. I'm going to meet you at the train station. And meat, I love to eat meat. Homophones. Spelled different, sound the same, different meanings. That's next time. Keep on studying English. Hard work is always rewarded. And I will see you next time right here.